Yo, mama.
Hello, Marco. Welcome to another SystemSesh. Mike.
Great.
Not
Not proud of that moment, but you know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another SystemSesh. Now, as you know, these are when we talk about hardware, consoles and such.
It's not our second one.
It's our second one. First was the SNES.
The Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Nintendo Entertainment System. So what we're going to try and do is, before we play games from a console, is give you, not a review, but just like our view on the console.
Our memories, our anecdotes.
Shit like
Obviously,
that.
we can't do that for some of the consoles because we've already played.
Exactly. We just come up with the idea.
I mean, we can still do
Yeah.
the system sessions, but we can't do them before we've played them.
No. So, today is one that we have played many games on, and it is my favourite console. And I have a lot of stuff to go along with this console, and probably will end up with a lot more.
No doubt.
You probably know this already if you follow either me or us in RetroSesh. It's the Dreamcast. There it is with its flap.
I remember you having this, and I remember like one other person having this.
I know you said that there was another friend
Yeah.
that had one.
Cody Toad Ribbit. Yeah. I really just remember playing it with you.
Yeah. I mean, on the face of it, I mean, I saw this come up in a list. What was it? Like, not most hated console, but it was something like that. It was like shittest console, or console that was crap, or whatever. And some people voted for this. I was like, what? Like, for me, like, you got 4 controller ports. You got PS2-ish graphics in some games, like the one you'll see coming up very shortly. I personally think it excelled in the graphical department. You know, things like that. You've got Ethernet built in, you've got all this other stuff in a console that is, I mean, obviously the PS2, like, you had like DVD. That was the big thing, wasn't it? The DVD drive.
I feel like that why people voted the worst was because it was in between. You had the PS5, the PS1 that came out in 95, along with the N64 that came out in 95, right?
Yeah.
Then that came out, I think, 99, and everyone already had a PS1 or an N64 by then. I mean, I didn't. I was late
But
to the game.
this was next gen.
But it came out the PS2 was in the works, and the Xbox was in the works, so people were very excited about that.
I mean, yeah, you're right with the Xbox. But I mean, that came later. That came out. That was actually late.
Yeah. I think people were. I feel like PS1 was so popular, people were ready for that PS2. They're like, when's PS2 coming out? And when it got announced, this came out.
That's how it was for you.
Yeah,
Because when you had a PlayStation, that is, and you know, me too. That's like, that was the thing. You had your PlayStation. Everyone had the games. You went to school the next day and you talked about the games that we were all playing. It was great. However, there were an awful lot of people, me included, who went just the Sega route. You start off like SNES, well, I mean, not to go right back to the beginning, the NES and the Master System, and then SNES, Mega Drive, and then PS1, Sega Saturn, and then it was Dreamcast and PS2. That's the way you wanted to go. But yeah, I mean, for me, this was a bloody good console. I mean, there's not too much to say about the console that you probably don't already know as people who are on the internet watching videos about Dreamcasts. And, you know, as for me, yeah, the graphics, 4 ports were basically the 2 big things. Get 4 of your friends together on a sofa, play some arcade-style games, blah, 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 blah. However, the real standout was the controller.
That's a beast of a controller.
I know, it really is, in the best way possible. This is actually the controller I've used for the past maybe 10 years or so now. But, I mean, in this one I've got the Rumble Pack, it's official Dreamcast one, and just a VMU that I've just had in there, to be honest. And, I mean, it was the first controller with triggers, like, it's actually, like, spongy, triggery triggers. Obviously you've got the buttons, the 4 X, Y, A and B buttons that we've kind of had on consoles for many years before this. The screen of the VMU, I'm not going to talk about that too much. You guys know what it does, what it displays, and what it can do. Obviously, you're in the playground with your mates, you can hook up, they fit, and then you can hook your VMUs up as well.
You by yourself in the playground, the only one of a Dreamcast.
The thought was there, Pete. I mean, let's face it, if you fucking bought one,
Yeah.
then it would have been amazing.
Well, I
but
was always a
you
console
fucking
behind, so when everyone
didn't.
had it,
Well, yeah,
says.
I'm not saying in 2001. Did I have this? No.
Yeah, so let's talk about the origin of how you came about with Dreamcast. So you were always Sega growing up, right? Whereas I was Nintendo, you were always Sega.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like... I mean, I feel like the origin story should probably come for a different one. But for me, because like the origin would be the Master System for me.
Oh no, I mean like how did you the origin of the Dreamcast for you?
Oh, for me, the Dreamcast. I knew it existed. I hadn't had one because I had the Master System, the Mega Drive. Then you had a PlayStation. I had a PlayStation. And then we got PS2s, and that is when I stopped going on the Sega train.
Yeah.
So it was probably when the PS2 was in full swing. And I thought, well, everyone's got PS2. I could go around your house, and I did many times playing PS2 games. So I'm going to try something different. And I went, and as I did, and I think you did, and many of our friends did, you would get all your fucking shit together. N64 and your DS and your games, your Game Boy Advance or whatever it was. You would go down to Game Station, not Game, and you would pile it all on the counter and go, how much would you give me for that shit?
Yeah.
And then they go, it's about tenner.
Yeah.
And I think I managed to get enough to get one of these, and I did, with a few games, and I loved it.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then, sure enough, maybe a year later, took it down to Game Station, a load of other shit, piled it on the counter, and got something else.
PS2 probably.
Maybe. But that's where I first got one from. I do actually also have a Japanese one, which has got the red logo on it there. A bit of a sad story with this one.
Just before you go into that, the red logo, I noticed the red logo on that controller.
Yeah, so this... I didn't explain that. So, this console came with 4 controllers. The controllers will work on PAL or NTSC. I don't know why. Just... when I got this, I used this controller and have been using it since. But, that console... My friend gave it to me for, what used to be a friend, gave it to me for a birthday or Christmas present, can't remember which one, and took it home. Whoa, yeah, it's amazing. And if you don't know, the back of the cable, the power supply input there is just a figure of 8 cable, the same that you would find on a PS1 or 2.
Yeah.
And just plugged it straight in, thought I was going to have myself an awesome birthday.
Yeah.
And it turned into a smoke show because it was a Japanese one. So they run on 120 volts. We run on 240. And he did give me a power supply which had a bit of a brick in it. And I guess that was, to take that voltage down. But what I did, and I still feel so bad to this day, I went into town and I got from a market the Dreamcast. And I swapped the power board from my one, my broken Japanese one, put it into the old one. Let me start that again. I'd swapped the broken power board into the Dreamcast I just bought and put the PAL 240 volt one into the Japanese one. So now I've got a working 240 volt Japanese Dreamcast, which is very cool. But then I took the Dreamcast with the broken power board back to the guy in town to get a refund. So it's not working, mate. And he was good as gold and gave me a refund. I walked away like so guilty, but I didn't have enough money to do it, and I just blew up a £200 fucking Dreamcast.
£200, shit.
Well, I mean, it was back then. They've come down in price quite a lot now.
You had another Dreamcast, didn't you?
No.
Did someone not get you a Dreamcast?
No.
No?
You?
And then you're like, oh yeah, I'll buy it off you, and then it just became yours after a while, didn't it?
No, that's that one.
That is that one.
That's this one, yeah. Yeah, Pete got one, and I said, Pete, why have you got a fucking Dreamcast? I haven't got a Dreamcast, I want a Dreamcast. And out of the goodness
I think that
of
was a spare. But wasn't it? I thought I got a Japanese one, and That's why I was confused.
Yeah, looking up there, you can't see
Yeah.
that. But no, you had a boxed one.
Yes.
And I said, well, I haven't got a boxed one. I should definitely have a boxed
Oh, is that why? See, I thought you wanted
So-
a Japanese one. That's why I thought.
No, I already had the Jap one.
I see.
So yeah, I wanted the boxed one. You said, oh well, I don't know why. You said, yeah, you can borrow it.
Yeah, I think you wanted to buy it off me, and then I was like, you can borrow it from me.
Yeah, I think I agreed to buy it off you. Never gave you the money, and then
Nah.
maybe 5 years later, you said,
Fucking
for your birthday present, mate, you can just keep the Dreamcast. Yeah.
Now that's on video. Mike owes me, let's see, 700 quid with interest.
No, you gave it to me as a present.
I did.
I do, however, owe some poor geezer in town that probably doesn't have his little shack anymore.
I remember the geezer.
Do you?
I used to go to him fucking every Saturday with my mum.
Yeah. There you go.
Try
Well,
and get some SNES games off him.
try.
Yeah, I sold him a NES once. It was fucking. He gave me too much money for it.
Really?
It was in shit condition. I know exactly the guy.
No, don't do that, Pete.
Hey,
Don't do that.
they're not watching this. 4 people watch this. But yeah, so the Dreamcast. So what are I feel like an interviewer here. What are some of your favourite games on the Dreamcast?
My favourite games on the... There's a certain amount of games. Like with every console, if you have a PlayStation, you get Metal Gear Solid, you get all the other games. Crash Bandicoot, maybe a Tony Hawk's in there. Looking up now, there's a Gran Turismo. You've got to have a Gran Turismo. There's just that set. There's certain few games that
Disney's Tarzan.
Stop labelling our future Sunday sessions, Pete.
We'll find the worst games.
The secret games of
So
Mike
yeah,
Della.
so you got those stock games.
You get the stock games, yeah. When you get the console. So, Sonic Adventure, Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, 3 of the big
Choo Choo
popular
Rocket.
ones. You think Choo Choo Rocket's one?
I remember it on the box, I think on the back.
I know.
Isn't
I
it?
just don't. It doesn't, for some reason, jump to mind when you think of Dreamcast.
No. Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah, I have had that shit fucking game both times that I've had Dreamcast, and unfortunately, there it will stay on our shelf.
So those are the games.
Yeah.
Not spoiler
But
alert.
favourite games, I mean, I'm a big Resident Evil fan.
Yes.
Big Resident Evil fan. But I haven't played 2 on the Dreamcast, and I haven't played Code Veronica, which I know is ridiculous, because, in fact, there's quite a lot of people on forums and such who have a Dreamcast or have repurchased a Dreamcast recently just to play Code Veronica. So I know it's sacrilegious as a Resident Evil fan to not have played Code Veronica, but it's on the list. We're going to get it done. Yeah.
I mean, when I used to come around yours, I remember the sleepovers down in your basement. We'd be playing till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I always remember you fired up Sonic Adventure for us.
I know. For us, I mean, you would watch fall asleep.
Yes.
No, in fact, that's probably one of my earliest memories of staying up till 4 or 5.
Mine, yeah, as well.
And I mean, Sonic Adventure in particular, yet again, to talk about the graphics on the Dreamcast. It's one of those games where, I mean, I looked at it not so long ago, and it hasn't aged badly, but I used to look at, there's, for those of you who remember the game quite well, you go up a very tall ladder into the forest section.
Yeah.
You go up the very tall ladder, and you're just looking over the canopies of trees and stuff of the jungle beneath you. And I remember once I was just stood up there, maybe about 5 minutes, just looking around, and you got the soundtrack playing in the background as well. A beautiful game. Nowadays, as I say, I booted it up not so long ago, and I was like, God, that's shit. Fucking hell. As I say, it hasn't aged badly, but I wouldn't sit there for 5 minutes and stare at things in awe.
But back in the day, that was
That was the shit. Yeah, that's exactly what it's all about.
That was the best Sonic's ever looked. So it's whoa, Sonic in 3D.
3D, apart from Sonic 3D on the Sega CD.
I don't count the Sega CD as a console. I don't count any of the games. I think we should just mull over that one. I don't think you're ever going to own one. I'm certainly not going to.
Are you saying that the Nintendo 64 DD is in the same in comparison?
I mean, there was
that
4
wasn't
games
ever
for
released.
it. Yeah, there was 4 games for it. It was in Japan. There's a bit, but
Was there an earlier one on the SNES? There was the expansion port on the bottom, but they never released it. Is that
which
right?
turned into the PlayStation 1. Sony were meant to produce it for them.
So the first disc Nintendo console was the GameCube.
Yes.
Wow. There you go. And now they've gone back to cards again.
Yeah.
Which I'm a fan of. Anyway, Sega.
Yeah, Dreamcast. You might hear it in future videos. It's fucking loud. The actual console is fucking loud.
It is, yeah. And it's not. I've looked into like mods. There's the little fans in the sides, the little tiny ones like you would get on an old like Southbridge or a motherboard. But I've looked into getting like replacement ones, like and redoing the laser and such like inside. I think that's why it's getting noisy. It's just that even the laser moving to the correct part of the disc is like.
So what is that noise? That
That's it. Reading the disc. It's the laser. Yeah.
There's the laser. Yeah.
Yeah. They all go. If you've got an old console and it's a disc one, your laser will go. It's just unfortunately a fact. And one of those things that when you are looking for a console is, you know, how easy is it to replace that? Because inevitably you will have to.
Yeah.
On the Dreamcast, luckily, piece of piss. So that's good. And the fan is much of the same. You just replace it. And don't forget, I mean, this is what, a 20-year-old console now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, give or take.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and when you consider that for the first few years of its life, it would have just been turned on, like, and it would have just been on, like, gaming all the time.
First console to connect to Ethernet.
Was it the first?
I'm thinking so.
First? I think it was actually. Yeah.
There was a PlayStation with Net Your Rosie, which was a mod developer one, which I think could connect, but that was like a mod. The first released like to the public.
Yeah, I think
one.
yeah, the first. I always forget that the PS2 was online.
Yeah, I never went on it. Ever in my
No,
life.
surely no one did.
I think I bought like a network adapter for it a couple of years ago, even though the servers are all offline.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Just for lols. Did you try?
No, I don't even think I even tried. Of course I didn't. I just bought it. I was like, oh yeah, cool. So what else did the Dreamcast? It had a keyboard. Like I know.
Yeah, there's
other
loads of
consoles
funky
have
peripherals.
I know other
for it,
consoles with keyboard, but like this is the first one to like proper make use of it. It had the fishing reel.
Yeah, the Sega Bass Fishing. Yeah, the keyboard, also a mouse.
Had a mouse, yeah.
Microphone?
Maybe, yeah.
Definitely. That's why you plugged it into the controller.
Oh, I see. Have we talked about the VMU?
Yeah.
You mentioned
Well,
that?
enough. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it too much.
I mean, that was like pretty cool when you were young.
I know. And
little things come up on the screen.
Yeah, and I did used to play the Sonic.
The minigame.
With the Chao, whatever, however you want to pronounce them. Yeah, you know, like a Tamagotchi, basically. I did play that because I'm so cool.
We actually got in a Rumble Pack.
Yeah, just the Rumble Pack, mate.
So, games that I remember for this, obviously Sonic Adventure playing a few. I remember playing Power Stone. Now that is...
I have
good
never played
game.
Power Stone.
We need to, for sure.
Yeah.
What else? There's some... Oh, there's loads of games that you love for it. Like, you got your expensive ones that you love.
Yes,
What was
there's
the racing game?
there's a
Tokyo
couple.
Challenge.
Tokyo Highway Challenge.
Tokyo Highway Challenge.
Number one, I love very fondly. In fact, that is definitely in my top 3 Dreamcast games.
Yeah.
And then there's Tokyo Highway Challenge 2, which I played, which is shit, or at least different.
Not
and
as good.
different. I thought it was going to be like the same, but like different cars and stuff. I turned it on, and it's like just too different.
Really?
Yeah, and I was just like, no, I'll turn it off. Just put in Tokyo. But it is expensive. It's a rare game, so I still have it. It's a good collector's one.
Is that, for instance, like the difference between like Gran Turismo 8 3A spec and then Gran Turismo Concept? When they had the Concept Japanese cars?
I don't think I played them in comparison. I haven't played Concept.
It's probably the same, but just different cars. But that's Tokyo Challenge. Is that different
Well,
cars?
no, the whole physics was different.
Ah, right. They
The whole
changed the
physics,
game.
yeah. And I think when they made Tokyo Highway Challenge, it was a very early release, so they made it a very under what the console was capable of, and then they tuned it up and put all these extra graphics and shaders in and everything, and it just made it. It was a beautiful arcade game, and they turned it into something to compete with Gran Turismo or whatever.
Right.
It's just not that.
Obviously wouldn't. And what other games do I remember before? What other
Yeah,
games?
I've got Gauntlet Legends.
I didn't like that one.
Which is also one of my childhood favourites. I did actually play that on the Mega Drive though, and PlayStation. I think I had it on. I never owned it on Dreamcast, and I recently bought that. That's quite an expensive one, along with Time Stalkers, which is a fucking gorgeous game. If you haven't played Time Stalkers, please do. It is a bit expensive, so unless you are a collector or whatever, probably not for you. but it's a beautiful, like it's like a Final Fantasy meets Ocarina of Time, just fuckfest, and it's amazing. It is so good, so good.
We've already mentioned, you already mentioned Jet Set Radio, but yeah, I first played that not long ago for the channel. You can go back and look at the video.
That's one of our first selling sessions.
Yeah, and I was like, I've always heard about this game. It's got a bit of a following, and I played it. I was like, I know why. More games. What other games are cult following? Obviously Shenmue. I mean, all the Dreamcast hardcores. But Shenmue. Yes, it was.
I'm surprised we went this far without mentioning it. To be honest.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely good. I watched my friend play it more than I played it. But I recently bought 1 and 2.
Have you?
Yeah.
I don't own them, nor have I ever played them.
Yeah, they're more like a they're more like a puzzle. Not really even a puzzle, just like action. But also you got to.
It's like
I always remember the crates. You got to get in a forklift and move the crates.
Okay, you see, because they what happened recently? Did they remake it or remaster
on
it?
Xbox?
It was on Xbox because there was a lot of footage on the Yogscast and Hat Films channel about.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Shout us out. Come on, guys.
Never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen.
So, but yeah, they were doing and they were doing a challenge in a forklift.
Right.
To mimic that of Shenmue. It's awesome console. It's my favourite one. I don't know why. Why? What was that?
Probably my phone. It always falls when I'm here. This stream's haunted.
Yeah.
The ghost of Pete's phone.
Or just don't fucking put it on the arm of the sofa all the time.
Well, that's where it lives. Anything else to say about the Dreamcast, mate?
No. No, I think that's it. It's awesome. It plays a load of different games. It plays a load of awesome games. It's got a load of future-y stuff that should have been recognised more in the industry and pushed Sega forward.
Yeah.
But it didn't. And as you say, it kind of came out a bit earlier than with the others. I don't know. The whole fucking release, marketing, and everything of the whole system was botched.
People are very lucky now. Like when we were the age we were when Dreamcast came out. Dreamcast. The Dreamcast came out. We didn't have things like eBay and like online like shops to buy these consoles. So I feel like the Dreamcast might have been completely missed by a lot of people. Whereas now, people that age can buy these consoles online.
Yeah.
And they might be able to check it out, which would be nice. But I feel like a lot of people our generation might have missed it because it was just, like I said, in between that PS1 PS2 gap. And I think that's a shame because it's a very overlooked console. It's got a lot. The graphics are great on a lot of the games. Headhunter. That's a good graphics game.
Very good graphics game, that one, Pete.
It is indeed. I'm just looking at the shelf of the games. Got Worms Armageddon. I know that was on a lot of things, but Worms is always fun.
Worms is. The good thing about Worms is that it's just always the same.
Yeah. Fantasy Star Online? I always remember it.
I don't have Fantasy Star Online.
No, I think I've got it. I don't know why I was looking when I was set up.
Fantasy Star Online was an MMO basically.
Yeah, that was like one of the first like major like MMO because it was a console.
And many people do regard it as one of the best ones. Of course, you had the downside of shit / a modem you had to pay for to connect to it. Like you had to get the Dream Key and pay monthly.
I remember the Dream Key. Yeah.
Yeah.
You pay monthly for it.
I think you had to pay monthly.
That's what those robbing
like
bastards that Sony and Microsoft are doing now.
Yeah. And you remember when the PS3 came out? It was like, oh my god, you don't have to pay for online. It's
free.
Yeah.
I still do that. I don't talk about PlayStation Pro or Plus.
Yeah. Is it still free PS3? Online?
PS3, to just go online. Yeah.
And the server's still shit. Because of course that was their defense, wasn't it? You have to pay for Xbox, but at least they maintain their servers and the online experience is supposed to be better.
Well, I only use my PS3 for watching YouTube, for the YouTube app, which isn't very good anyway on it, but I just use my PS3 as a media center really.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's back to the Dreamcast. It's cool. It's a fucking cool console. It's, I think, overlooked.
It is.
And I think people that might have played it a lot, like yourself, would say, you know what, this is actually a really good console. You say it's a competitor to the PS2 and Xbox, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's got better graphics than the PS2. It went online before the PS2.
Yeah.
It's got 4 controller imports. The PS2's only got 2. The memory cards aren't just memory cards you shove in the console. They've actually got a use as well. It's smaller in form factor than the PS2.
Yeah.
The only thing the PS2 did that the Sega Dreamcast can't is play DVDs.
Yeah.
And that was huge.
Massive at the time.
Because everyone that was our age as a child could say, Mom, can I get a PS2? No, you can't get one. What the fuck are you going to do with it?
But it's
But
got
it's
a
a DVD player.
So you can use it as well.
Yeah,
even though I just put it in my room. But
It's
that was the way.
instantly justified.
Yeah, that was the way it was justified. And the same
Yeah.
for the PS3. That's what did it for me. I had a Blu-ray player. So.
With the Blu-ray player. And of course, Xbox lost off on both of those, didn't it?
Yes.
Oh, wait there. No, the Xbox did play DVDs, didn't
But
it?
you had to buy a special unit to like
Really?
plug in the front, and then the Xbox 360 had HD DVD, which
That's right. It's
died a grisly death.
even though it was technically a better format.
Yeah, I don't.
It's
really
rather
know
like
much about it,
Betamax and VHS, isn't it? It's
That's
like
what they say. Yeah.
Betamax was technically better or something. Anyway, we
my
have
last,
digressed.
yeah, again, my verdict on the console, very good console, overlooked, and it was a shame the timeline of it coming out between the PS1, which everyone had,
Yeah.
and the PS2, which then everyone got.
Yeah.
But for people that went into it, really good console.
Mm.
One of your favourites, well, your favourite console for sure.
It is my favourite, and I reckon it's going to stay there for quite some time. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more to say, ladies and gentlemen. It is an awesome console. It does a lot of stuff, and you should definitely buy one if you haven't, because the games I've found since we've been playing through a load of the ones that I haven't been familiar with, they're all pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, there was... Which one was it that was complete fucking shit? Oh, Echo.
we were shit at it.
I know.
I mean, it was shit, but we were shit at it.
I know,
well.
but
Like, I'm finding a lot of the games on
Yeah.
now.
I mean,
games like,
I mean,
shit, I'm not as good as I thought.
yeah, I know. Aren't we so shit at video games? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us on the SystemSesh. Bit of a long one, but if you made it to the end, we thank you very much, and you can look forward to some Dreamcast content. Well, I was going to say from here on in, but from both sides of this video, really.
Past, present, and future.
Past, present, and
This is the present. We've done Echo in the past, Jet Set Radio in the past, other games in the past. So in the future, who knows?
Defender
what
of the
we'll do.
future. What? Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We shall see you next time.
Dream on. Is that one of their slogans?
I hope not.
Dream key.